This world is revolved around ocean, continents, and islands. It is all water, more water than anything else. Give me like 20 minutes, says Mao.
Okay. I'm fine now.
Okay. The way that it works, for it to be correct, is that it is not like a normal planet would be. All people know is that for some reason, the further you go out into the ocean, the harder it is to sail. Not because of like the weather or the water or anything like that. It is physically and like stressful on people's bodies. It is mentally stressful on their minds.
Mm.
Years
More
after
drama.
dealing with this, it was found out that when people go that far into the ocean, it is basically an act of crossing through a dimensional tear in order to get to other places. Years and years of testing things, years and years of doing experiments, people actually managed to make a job out of this type of thing. Imagine the people that call themselves navigators. They were able to tie certain locations, certain islands, to like this map that they created in their head. And while ships were sailing under the ocean, they were able to use types of magic in order to pull themselves through these dimensional tears to get to where you want to go. If a ship didn't have a navigator like that, half the times they would end up going somewhere completely different, somewhere they didn't want to go, somewhere and get lost. That is what you need to know. This story takes place on an island only known as the Coin.
Ooh.
Welcome to the Coin. So, as it starts, a lot of you are very aware of the situation that war is upon us. It is what is to be called the War of the Islands. Each island, each group of islands that are surrounding each other kind of tend to have like an empire that they are under rule of, and they are getting ready to go to war on other islands. The more islands an empire controls, the more powerful their hold is within these oceans. During this time, all of you, you live on different islands. You have no idea like how it's going to affect you so roughly and all of that, but somehow you ended up here at the Coin. Whether it be because you know how to navigate to the oceans and you wanted to end here, or you happen to be here by accident, this is where you find yourself. So, this is how it starts. Drusilia, is that how you say your name? Angel.
Yeah.
Okay. You've actually been here for quite long. You found yourself in the area of the Kuzun. Can you see the map right now, all of you?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Yes.
You have found yourself among the Kazun. Kazun is a very like it's overrun by trees. It's very forested. It's kind of a rainforest where the rain's always pouring because it's a rainforest. Fuck me. And because the oceans that come around this area seem to always push heavy storms in this direction. It is overgrown. There's not a lot of people that live here, but the people that do find themselves to use the nature. That is why you were drawn to this place. This is also a place known for hunting. Now, whether or not you may take part in this, you have found yourself kind of dealing with people who look to take out these forests. It was a normal thing. Until one day, you received a letter. The letter wasn't really signed by much. It just had a symbol on it, a red rose. It said to go look for a place called the Rose Petal, a tavern that was actually well known in the place of Esna,
And it
on
starts
the
in a
complete
tavern.
opposite side. That
Ooh.
is where you were heading. To get from one side of the coin to the other, it is multiple days of travel. This is a very large continent. You can't go straight through the Talum Empire due to the fact that it is restricted to certain people, and you aren't very well known, so you aren't welcome in the center of the coin yet. Days of travel, whether walking or using a carriage, that's up to you. You find yourself at Esna. The only thing that was on this note was that you need to talk to someone in the bar, someone that's been there a long time. And you have to tell them that you have no coin to spare, but you have a lot of wisdom. Days of traveling, you find yourself at the Sunburnt Rose. This is the tavern that you are going to. So, you come along this town. It's kind of along the beachy areas, facing outwards away from the center of the coin. It is very much kind of like a port, a non-stop port, a lot of woods, like people clanging on metal and all of that. I'm going to get the river town going. Let me know if you can hear the music.
I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear. Oh yeah.
Okay,
I don't hear music, I hear waves.
that's good.
There we go. I can hear now.
This town is known as Rivertown, partly because it is a part of the river that goes straight through the ring, from the inner ocean to the outer ocean. It's a very peaceful town, not a lot going on. Esna is an area that's mostly open. It's used mainly by farmers for crops and farmland. And there's a very well-known female half-elf that takes place here. Her name is Winvile. You actually know her. Her brother lives near the place that you take residence in, back where you come from. As you make your way closer to this town, I want you to roll a perception check.
First roll of the game? Who's rolling?
This is all for Angel. 13. As you make your way into the town, all the farmers are doing what they normally do per day. They prepare carriages filled with types of fruits, vegetables, getting ready to take it on to where the market would be in the next continent, or in the next state over. You've been here long enough to know that each part of the coin is represented by its own strength. You know that the Talum Empire in the center is where the main government title of the coin takes place. You know that Uflad holds the most military presence outside of the inner island. You know that the convergence of Ograd is a mostly forested area around the coin, the most heavily forested, actually. It's also the place where the poorest people stay. Horal is the place of market and trade. Most merchants stay there, and most of the more expensive people that like luxury live there. Kuzan is a part of the coin that is heavily forested and is a place for game and hunt. Fuenzia is a place that has the least military presence, a place of piracy and thievery. Here in Esna, as you get closer, based off of that perception roll, you see that it is just going by as a normal day. The wind is blowing ever so gently. You make your way through some of the lesser buildings, and it's not very hard to see that off in the distance, there seems to be a ship, much higher than most of the buildings surrounding it. You've heard of it. You haven't really been to it. But this is the Sunburnt Rose, a ship that was capsized by hitting a bunch of stones and coral reefs before this area, the water around it, decided to lower. After the water lowered, people started making homes here, and not really knowing whether the water would ever raise again, they created these homes in a way that would be able to raise with the water if it were ever to flood. Below the Sunburnt Rose is the Rose Petal, a very well-known tavern. As beautiful as it looks, the inside is mostly run down. Not a lot of people tend to go to a bar when they're busy trying to make sure that they have enough food back at home. So what are you going to do?
Well, the note did say go to the Fettle, didn't it?
It did, yes.
And I guess I'm going there.
So you make your way across the docks that are kind of jerry-rigged to each other, floating as you step on each one. All of the supports that go down into the water, even those move, but it somehow just works for them. Walking up the steps, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are entering or leaving the building. There are 3 doors, as you can see, small, a tall, a medium. Which door are you going through?
The medium-sized one.
So you enter the door on the far right. I mean, they all lead the same way, but as you enter, it is kind of a dark, musty area. A lot of the buildings around this area, due to the way that the waves wash up against the docks below it, it kind of gets that moldy smell, but it isn't a bad smell. A lot of people enjoy it. It smells like the sea. You enter this kind of gloomy area, this rundown area, not a lot of patrons. One person working at the bar, a half-elf. Some people sitting in the back corner drinking, just kind of getting on, passing the time. You did get here around midday. Is there anything that you want to do upon entering?
Let's see if I remember the note said find somebody that's been there a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then give them the passcode or some shit. So I guess go up to the barkeep.
You walk up to the barkeep. This isn't necessarily someone that you've ever met before. What do you say? Angel?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
I guess it's the passcode. I don't have a lot of coin, but I have a lot of wisdom.
So you walk up and you say that to the person? The barkeeper, you say that to them?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk up to this half-elf. It's a male half-elf, just cleaning some glass, just trying to get on with his day. Seems like he's bored as hell, doesn't want to be here, but, you know, it's his job, and if he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it right. You walk up, you casually stroll to the bar, and you say that. And he gives you a look, he nods, and he pulls up the hatch that separates the main room from behind the bar, and he says, "Go ahead and step into the back."
He got it right.
Nod and do that.
Okay, so you
Nod and
find
do
your
that.
way behind the bar, pass through a doorway, and the half-elf closes the door behind him. In here, one moment. In here sits a female dwarf, very gruff looking. Kind of wearing darker clothing, not what you would see at the front of the bar. Somebody who doesn't normally get seen by people of the bar, just doing work back there. She looks you up and down. She shakes her head. "So you're the one that the letter was sent to." Do you have anything to say?
If you're talking about the letter to find the flower or the petal,
Aye, that would be exactly what I want. To hear from you. Now, I'm going to just assume that you can keep a secret. Once you go down here, you're going to see a lot of things. I hope that you can keep your hands to yourself, stay in the back and watch. I don't want to see you get involved. For bad things normally happen if you get involved. Not yet, at least. You're going to be waiting until a man or a thing named Crow calls you forward. And then I suggest that you listen to what he has to say.
I think how we're doing this is
Do you
character
understand?
introductions, and then eventually all of us meet up.
yep, man named Shlo. Got it.
Splendid. And the female dwarf reaches over and actually walks over to like a barrel that you would think food is in. And he pushes this barrel to the corner of the room. And when he wedges it up into this corner, it kind of pushes into both walls at the same time. And you hear a click. In the center of the room, a small little box-shaped indent in the ground kind of pops up. And as it raises up, a spiral staircase goes down. And the dwarf looks at you. "For your own sake, good luck." Do you make your way down?
Yep.
Fuck.
As you descend down the staircase, while you're walking down, the staircase lowers and closes behind you. You're not in darkness. There's somewhat of light. You make your way down further and further. And then you step out through a doorway. What you see before you is stairs leading down, kind of like opening up wide into a larger room. It's another tavern. This one is underground, hidden one. There's a lot more people here. A lot of different types of humans, dwarves, halflings, and they're all kind of standing in a crowd around an open area. You can't really see what's there yet. Do you want to push your way to the front? Do you want to stay in the back?
I was told to stay in the back, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Make a perception check. It's blank. Never mind. It's a 20.
Holy shit.
As you kind of just look around, you can easily peer through all of these people. You find yourself a really good spot. Kind of get a step up onto something so you can peer over everybody's head. And we're going to get back to you in a minute.
Fucking natural 20.
Next. Valis. Is that how you say your name?
Yes, it is.
Good. And is it Pydor or Pidor?
Idor?
Pydor. Okay.
I'm not gonna have. I'm gonna have
to
trouble.
roll your R's, lad, unless you're fucking Irish.
That's fair.
I'm gonna have so much trouble pronouncing that fucking name.
You two have been dealing with a lot of things lately. I'm sure you know what I'm saying. You've been making some choices that are not very well wanted. Things have happened. People have gotten hurt. You've been traveling from island to island.
I feel like my character is gonna be last in terms
You
of
just so happened to get
introductions,
here
considering on what
when you were finally caught.
is going on with him.
Valis.
Yes.
The only thing that you can see right now is complete and pitch blackness. The things that you hear, they don't make sense to what you feel around you. It's a non-stop motion. Things skittering and crawling. This is what you have been dealing with for the past 3 days. You haven't been able to move, you haven't been able to escape, and you haven't been able to get out, no matter what you do. The last thing that you remember before all of this happening was that you had found yourself in a new place, a welcoming place. And very soon after that, it wasn't very welcoming. You and your buddy were bagged, things put over your head, something chained around your neck. Every now and then you hear the dinging of a tuning fork, and it's the only thing that you can focus on. Three days. And then one day, that tuning fork becomes the only thing that you can focus on. The only thing at all. All of the sounds of the skittering disappear. The next thing that you hear after that is the sound of metal against wood. Boards being pried open. Finally, you see light. And you fall to your knees. When you fall to your knees, the first thing that you notice is that you're definitely not alone. You're surrounded by people all staring at you. But it isn't, they're not all standing still. Everything is moving around you. Everything is in non-stop motion. All the sounds that you hear echo into the back of your head, almost ringing in your skull, and it is a non-stop pain. I already forgot. Is it Pidor?
Paidor.
Pydor. Okay. Pydor.
Pydor.
You have been traveling along in captivity. What you've seen for the past 3 days was a group of people carrying the person that you travel along inside of a box. You've tried to escape. You haven't been very good at it. You also have something chained around your neck. When you try to do something wrong, when you try to do something you're not supposed to do, you hear a tuning fork. It is a painful sound that gets loud enough to almost feel like it's bursting your ears. Moments before it all comes to clarity, they put a bag over your head and lead you down into an area that you've never been before. You hear people shuffling around you. You get forced down to your knees. Valis, you can make a perception roll right now if you would.
That's a solid 4.
Rip. The last thing that you saw as you fell to your knees was that they put a bag over your friend's head. And they led him into the crowd, and you lost him immediately. You see a couple of different people, actually multiple people with bags over their head being led into the center of this room. You can't really tell where you are yet, but all of them are being put in a line on their knees with bags over their head. Finally, you hear a ding, a tuning fork. And as that tuning fork goes off, all of the motion that's going around you begins to settle. All of that pain that you were having in your ear begins to relax. Any anger that you could have had also relax. It's a very unsettling feeling that you've ever felt this. You can finally see clearly around the room that you're in. You are in an open area, surrounded by people. You are on your knees. You are bound, hands behind your back, along with the people with bags over their head. One by one, the bags are lifted off of these heads. And one by one, all of the other players, you begin to see this room as well. You are gagged. You cannot speak yet. Your hands are tied behind your back. You see unfamiliar faces. You smell unfamiliar smells. The only thing that you can really tell right now is that you are in the center of a tavern, a dark tavern. Lots of people staring at you. But you can hear the sound of a tuning fork, and that's it. Does anybody want to do anything? Does anybody want to look for something specific, or would anybody like to make a perception roll to see if they can see anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I try to look around to see what I see now that my
Yeah.
bag's been?
I was also going to do the same thing.
Okay.
I would like to do the same thing.
Yeah, I was gonna do one as well.
Okay, so everybody roll a perception check that wants to do this. And
I'm
Angel,
just looking for people around me. That's
Angel, you are in the back of this room. You witness all of these people.
I got a 14.
6.
If you
I
could,
think
when you roll your dice, type in what you get. Invad and Tyler.
Huh?
When you roll your die, just type in what you get. So I can just see it. Thank you. 10, 14. 1, 2,
Fuck, I got the lowest roll.
6. Okay. 14. Pydor, Valis, I mean, you make eye contact. You can see each other. You're in the same line. All of these people that just made perception checks, you kind of look around. You see these other people that you've never met before, also on their knees, bound. But Valis, as you kind of look around and you kind of notice how it's all set up, you're in an opening. There is a lot of people around you, but in front of you, there is kind of like more stairways that are leading up to a central point. At the top of these central points is a throne made of broken metal, roots, and broken wood. It doesn't look like it's a comfy throne. Now, as you are all kind of sitting there, one by one, your gags are removed. Is there anything that anyone would like to say or shout?
I swear it didn't do anything.
I didn't fucking do it.
I may have done it.
My character's just gonna stay silent.
Okay.
I may have done it in chat.
As you kind of shout these things out, and or Valis casually saying, I may have done it. The people around you are kind of murmuring, but they all get to a silence. Like, it's just quiet. It's dead quiet in there, even though there are so many people in there. And you can hear the footsteps. The giant footsteps. Out from behind the throne, a door opens. And you see two large, grotesque-looking bugbears. One is armored over his chest, and he carries a long iron sword in his right hand. The other wears more leather, and he carries a large bow with arrows that are almost as tall as some of you. And I'm talking about the tall people in the party. Behind him, more slowly, somebody starts to make his way out from behind. The first thing that you see is that his entire body is covered in armor. It almost looks like a wooden armor. But then, as you look, you begin to see a lot more clear. What you see is a turtle. An old humanoid turtle walking with a staff. His shell covers up all the way past his throat into his chin,
It's Master
along the
Oogway.
backside as well. He has one. He has multiple horns coming out of his head that kind of form a circle crown of bone. His purple silk sash around his shell that is held by a silver metal turtle-shaped clasp in the front. On his shoulder, his left one, there is a blue lizard that glows, and on his right there is a shining gold bird. He makes his way around the throne. He sits down at the throne, and you can tell why it might be comfortable for him. He can't fucking feel it because of his shield, his shell. Each bugbear takes a step and stands on each side of his broken throne. He looks over all of you, shakes his head. Now, I understand that some of you might have some questions, and that is okay. However, all of you have found yourself in a situation that the hierarchs, the lower parts of the government, do not enjoy. Some of you are wanted men, some of you found yourselves in places you weren't supposed to be. Now, I am a person of second chances. And I understand that, although some people do not deserve second chances for what they have done, they can still be useful. At the same time, I can be useful to them. Now, I do apologize for how you have all been welcomed to this establishment. If we could get some people to untie them, please. And the people behind you kind of look at each other like, what the fuck is he doing? But one by one, all your bonds are taken off. At any point, if you want to do something while I am describing things, if you have a question, you can just type in anything. Like, exclamation point, I will stop, I will see what you have to say. You don't have to type the question. But, yeah. How many S? If you have a question, just like type an exclamation point, and then once I say, all right, what's your question, you can talk to me. How many people are watching realistically? There are probably 30 or 25, 20 to 25 people in this room standing around you. Does anybody else have any questions? Move my head around, being unbound, rubbing your wrist. Okay. The turtle standing up front looks along all of you. Now, that's better. Here is the situation. The lot of you that have been captured, bound, all of you were supposed to die. All of you were supposed to be executed. Now, I am very much a person that has some ties to the government, especially the government here. They allow me my pick of people. My pick of people who don't deserve to die. Now, when I say that, I say it lightly. You don't deserve to die because you could be of use to me. Nothing else. What I have done is I have plucked you from the grasp of death to give you an opportunity. Upcoming wars are happening. We already know that. That means that the government is too busy to deal with the smaller issues that are happening on this island and neighboring islands. So, the government is looking for guilds, jobs, anybody that's willing to do a little work for them. For money. That's where I come in. My name is Crow. And I have a job opportunity for all of you. Would any of you like to say anything?
I will try to do my best to do this job.
My character is gonna nod and say, alright, you've got my attention.
So what's this so-called job of yours?
Well, here's how it works.
Parker, how would you spell the turtle's name?
Crow would be K-R-O. That's it.
A turtle named Crow.
So this is how it works. You work for me. You stand under the name of this guild. Every now and then we have job opportunities come, a contract that needs to be dealt with. We choose people out of this guild that we think might be useful for that type of contract. We send you on your way. You get it done. You bring back proof. You get paid. There is a reason why I selected all of you, though. It is because all of you have a specific talent. You see, before I pick out my people, I like to learn a little bit about them. Anybody have anything?
I take it that if we decline this whole offer of working for you, we're dead.
Some of you might not be dead. However, if you are no use to me, I will return you back to whoever I bought you from. Now, when I say I bought you, I don't own you. I don't own anyone. The first job is my way of figuring out whether or not you'll be useful. If you do it, you've done something for us. You've done something for the government. I can pull some strings. You won't be wanted. However, after that, it is your choice whether or not you want to continue having an arrangement with this guild. Anything else?
Are we getting paid for this, I'm guessing?
I think our payment is freedom.
No, I believe
Well-
he said we would be getting paid.
See, as beautiful as freedom payment is, I don't do things for free.
That's great. You can go die if you want. I accept.
The crow sits up in his throne for a minute, and he kind of listens to what all of you have to say. The first job, it always comes with a little bit of private currency. You see, some jobs might be for you to fetch something. For us, for a buyer, doesn't matter. You get it done, we'll pay you for your troubles. Sometimes, you might be hunting something, a monster that's getting troublesome with a town. Maybe a bandit that's stolen from the wrong person. However, if you find something that you want to keep, you can have it. It all depends on what you're being sent into, but that's normally how it works here. Finders, keepers, so on and so forth. However, if you are put on some form of contract to find a specific item and bring it back, and we find out that you have left with that specific item, you will be hunted. Not just by the government, but by the people who have been working for this guild long enough to know all the tricks of disappearing. Any other questions?
No, it sounds fairly.
So how are we supposed to trust you with our lives? One quest and we're out? Or is this some kind of lifelong event so we don't fucking die?
He said earlier that we would be able to choose if we wanted to continue to work.
That is what I said. The way it works, this first job is become a bit of an issue. Although I've been given an opportunity to test some new assets, which would be all of you. The issue is, once you're done with this, I'm not the type of person to hold someone against their will to a contract of life. If you take a look around you, all of these people inside this lowly tavern, they've all had issues. They've all done something wrong. They'll probably continue to do wrongs. I won't stop them. But they've also agreed to stay here on their own will. Some people have left. That's fine. But I must make sure you swear to secrecy. For this guild that you're standing inside right now was never supposed to exist in the first place. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I do.
Got it.
I guess.
He looks at you, Valis.
Oh shit.
Don't worry. We'll keep all of your things secret too. He looks over to doo-doo-doo-doo. Kai looks over to you.
Hmm?
Certain numbers of the people in here have done unquestionable things like you. He looks over to kind of the rest of the group. Most of these unquestionable acts have become a secret from the government as well. This guild isn't a goody two-shoe, work for the government, get a good name. We do things to get it done. People get hurt sometimes. That's how it works. We understand that sometimes costs are equal to a victory. And costs might be a life. Whether it's yours or somebody else's, that's up to you. We just want the job done, and we want proof.
I have a
Sec-
question, Uguay.
What is your question?
Are we doing this alone? Are we in teams? Are we forced to be a part of team?
Upsettingly, due to the way that this works, a guild of this type has to look after each other. This first quest, this first objective that you'll be taking, you will be doing it as a group.
And I presume all of us are going to be in a group?
All of you, yes. The ones that are here, the ones that have all earned their way in right now. The new people. The people who need a test. That is a group.
Okay, here's my second question. And I'm all fine and dandy with whatever the hell we're doing, but do you really expect us to go out there pretty much naked? I need some armor, weapons.
Oh, absolutely. We're not going to send somebody out on a death wish. No. We've been collecting enough stuff to get you started, at least.
Perfect.
Are there any other questions? Oh, wait. We're missing someone. And Crow kind of looks up and into the back to where Angel, you are.
I forgot
Lucilia.
you were also in this campaign. I'm not
Kind of raises his arm up and
Fucking-
motions for you to
fucking
come to the
man.
front.
Just hops down off my little box or whatever the fuck I was sitting on and strolls on up.
Now, my. You're possibly one of the only new people here who aren't wanted for anything, besides the fact that you've pissed off a few people while stopping them from hurting a tree or two. I called you here because you have a dedication to your cause. Whatever that might be, you haven't let people stop you, and you've stopped people from ruining certain places on this island. And I think that could be useful. He looks over to Karma. Now, you. I know what you
Yes?
are. You've been an investigator.
Yes, I just.
Well, I don't think we've ever had any form of investigator as a wanted man or woman ever show up here, so you're an asset that's completely new and very useful to a place such as this. Looks over to Valis. You've done some questionable things in your life.
Haven't we all?
Aye. Most of the people in here have. Although, I am very aware that you bring knowledge, the ability to make a quick choice. Wisdom has a lot here. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to be a help, but we're going to test that out. He looks over to Kai. Now, you, whether or not you meant to, I know what you did.
Of course you do.
Now, that doesn't mean that everyone here does. I chose you because you showed a savagery that not a lot of humans have.
Mm.
He looks over to Tyr. You've been quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I had a hard time finding you. Most people did, actually. Even in jail, you kept small. I hear you have a knack for getting things that are hard to come by.
Maybe just a small one.
Good. Looks over to Pydor. Now, sometimes when things need to disappear from people's pockets, for some reason I feel like you might just come in handy.
Aye.
Now, upsettingly, he looks over at everyone. There is one new person. Not currently here right now. It's gonna take me a little more string pulling in order to get them out of an execution. I'm sure that they will come another day. If not, well, it'll be my apologies. They're very helpful. Now, do you truly accept to become a part of this guild for at least one contract?
If it gets me out of the death sentence, yeah.
As much as the sassy one over here was giving me earlier, I agree with him. I'd rather not die just yet.
I'll throw my life in.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Me and Mao said the exact same thing.
Splendid. Let me tell you what we're dealing with. Drusilla, where on this island do you reside? You, where did I say it was? You reside on Kuzan, or Kuzun.
Kuzun.
Now, a wonderful thing has been happening in Kuzun.
Thank you for the host,
The
Hyper.
forest seems to be reacting to something that has happened recently. Now, whether or not you knew about it, I do understand that you are new here, so I understand if you didn't know this. About a month ago, something came from the sky. We don't know what it was. All we know is that it landed somewhere in Kazun. We did send some people to go look for it. Now we're assuming that they're dead, due to the fact that whatever landed in that foresty area, wherever it is in Kazun, it seems to be affecting wildlife.
What's up, Hyper?
Upsettingly, that is all I know. We received a contract to go deal with this. And that is the first quest that I'm giving you all. All we know, something landed in Kazun, and the wildlife are affected by it. And that's all we have to go on, besides the fact that 2 of our men are missing, and a village nearby have also had some disappearances recently.
Do you have any information about the village name or where it's located?
Let me pull up the map. I'm going to bring everybody over to the map. Okay. Kazun, up top. Wonderful place. Very foresty. We are going to say... Angel, pick a random place real quick. Cool. That is the area that you have normally resided. If you zoom in, you can see Durtelli. You have been staying in the forest near Durtelli, and whenever you do need to get any type of food, or, sometimes you don't even need it, but if you were needing something that would involve human interaction, that's where you would normally go. The area that we are going is going to be right here. Draw it.
So about like the northeast side of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Freehand. Please. Oh, wait. Sorry. It should be right there, that second pink dot. And then where's my... Racer. The nearest town is a town called Barmwich. This is spelt Barmwich.
This is the nearest town where the entity was last seen, right?
Where something that fell in, or it's the town nearest to where it is. So that green dot right there is the town of, how do I type? There it is. I already forgot what I said. Which one was this? This was Barmwich?
Yeah.
Barmwich? Okay. So, Barmwich. Bam. What the fuck? Why did you move that far? There you go. Oh, that's why. Okay, so that's Barmwich. The only thing that we specifically know about this situation that we are currently dealing with is that it happened near Barmwich. We don't know whether it's west or south or north or anything like that. Are there any other questions?
I don't have anything other than, I guess, get suited up and
I have a
Yes,
question.
deal
some
with whatever the fuck.
supplies would be.
What's your question?
What exactly are we supposed to do when we find this thing? If it's an item, do we bring it back?
That is a good question. If it is an item that is affecting said animals around that area, whether it be large or small, well, I suppose that changes the answer. If it is too large to bring back, see if you can destroy it. However, if it is by some magical being, magical effect, we're gonna get you a box that you can put it in that, within reason, should quell this magic. Hopefully.
Got it.
Shit. It was right here, and then Barmwich. Are there any other questions?
So this is our team, correct?
Yep.
All right. Well, I've got nothing.
Okay. So, we're going to give you a day to prepare. We will have someone take you to the armory of this guild, and we will get you suited up to start. We want to be leaving by tomorrow. Make plans, and you will be watched. All right. So what do people want to do?
As soon as we're free to leave, I'm grabbing Pydor and I'm going to take him away from everyone to talk to him for
Okay.
quick.
Continue. Go ahead and do that.
Oh, we're good to go.
All right, little friend, what do you take on all?
I reckon we're fucked.
Well, yes, that's obviously in hand, but the whole one contract and freedom part, or should we ride the side?
Look, we're here for one job and one job only. Let's just get it done and
So you think we should just do this one and leave and be done?
I'd rather be thieving on my own time than on his. He won't fucking pay me except for bloody contract.
Not wrong there. What if the pay is good though?
Well, consider it. A pretty penny always gets me interested.
Um. Okay. Well, I guess keep on your toes. I don't really know if I can trust everyone just quite yet, but at the same time, we'll not, I guess, let them die. And if they do, we'll just take the shit off their body. So in the end, it's not going to matter, I guess.
I trust them about as tall as I am, so not at all.
All right, well, let's rejoin and grab some shit.
Aye.
And we walk back and rejoin with everyone.
Okay. Does anybody else want to do anything?
I grabbed Drasilia.
Okay.
Drasilia, what are you doing here?
I don't know, I got a note.
Why do you always follow every note you find?
Because it said to come here?
Oh my. You really gotta stop trusting random letters. Let's get this done. I need to not be wanted, okay?
Well, maybe next time you shouldn't get caught, Gamma.
I didn't. I only got caught because stupid things happen. Don't worry about it. I walked away.
Okay, can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Cool. So, for the equipment, this is how it's gonna work. You get taken to an armory. What you can get basic armor that you would initially start with for the class that you chose. You can get basic weapons that you would initially start with for the class that you chose. Bolts and crossbolts or arrows. We'll say you start with 30. And then if you want to look for other items and such, you will have to roll to see if you can find that type of stuff, and so on and so forth. So if you are looking for a specific thing, let's see.
I guess I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
you could do
I
investigation.
was gonna start looking for anything like magic books or whatever, like tomes, shit. Other than that, I'm just gonna grab basic stuff.
You
but
can
my
also ask around as well. Yeah, if you are looking for a specific thing, you can make an investigation, and then based
Oh,
off of what it
I'll do
is,
that.
we'll know.
All right, I'm gonna make an investigation check then.
I'll do one as well.
17 investigation. Karma, you're looking for ball bearings or caltrops? Ball bearings. Okay. After a couple of maybe an hour of everybody kind of getting their normal equipment on, you start poking around this armory, and you do actually see just a bucket in the corner with ball bearings. What they would be used for, you don't know. Some of them are kind of darkened, greasy. So I'd say a
I will
decent.
grab some ball bearings.
Yeah, if you want to roll 2d20. 26. So you find a decent amount of just 3 handfuls of ball bearings.
Okay, I'll just grab 2 pouches if I can.
Yep, that'll be good. All right. And then you are Valis, what are you looking for?
Anything that's magical, like tomes and stuff, that would pique my interest when it comes to magic.
Okay. So you start asking around, because this room that you start in with this armory, it's just basic shit. Normal weapons, that's it. You kind of look around at the other people that work here, and you do see some people have more than basic stuff. Some people have shields that have engravings along the inside of it. And you kind of ask around. You end up finding There you are. You get to the bar. There is a bar down here. Behind the bar, there are two people working, an old man and a woman. The old man is an older human. It looks like he's been like doing this type of stuff for way too many years. He's slow, but he gets the job done, and he hasn't stopped. His old age isn't actually stopping him from doing hard labor. The other person that works behind there is a very beautiful young woman with blue skin
Oh,
and
here we
white
go.
tattoos along her skin as well. You ask around. What do you ask for specifically?
So they're both just working behind the thing, right?
Yeah, they're both working behind the bar.
I'm gonna go up to the bar and lean up like, "Excuse me, I'm in the search for anything regarding magic, like tomes and shit. I have been looking through this entire armory and found absolutely nothing. Maybe you guys can help me."
The old man barely even looks up from his cup. How long have you been here?
That's a good question, DM. How long have I been here?
You have been in a box for 3 days.
I've become someone's pet for in a box for like 3 days, pretty much. Don't ask.
He looks up. Ah, so you got that introduction, huh?
Yes.
How long have you worked here?
I actually haven't worked here at all. I've just, I guess, been unsheathed.
Well, then you haven't earned any of the higher graded weapons yet. You haven't earned access to books, libraries. The only thing you've earned, well, the only thing you've earned is a good drink.
There's nothing you can do at all to help me with this. I have to do it. Come on, you can toss something my way, right? Even if it's level 1, I don't care what it is.
Go
I'm not asking for the intention.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion.
That's a fat 12.
12. He kind of gives you a chuckle, and he kind of just moves his arm around to look at all the people behind you. A lot of the people here weren't even given an opportunity to look through the armory upon their first start. You got lucky because we have no idea what we're sending you into.
Which is all the
You-
more reason to help me out here.
A dead body's a dead body, no matter where it lands.
You don't have to tell me that. I know that.
Yeah. So why would we put magical weapons on a dead body that can be looted by people who find it later?
Because I'm not going to die. Easy as that.
Well, then, there you go. You can earn magical weapons when you get back. Have a nice day, and he goes back to work.
Such a fucking... I'll walk away.
I'm gonna look for the two things I put in the.
Go!
Two things that you put in the.
I like
flask
you way
and a book and
better.
quill.
As I walk away.
Flask for fluid and a book and quill. And some ink.
Okay, 1 sec. I'm gonna do.
Do whatever you want. I'm just like.
I do have a question, real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
For armor and stuff, how would I put it into the character sheet so my AC is not 12?
So. Jeez, I haven't actually done armor in a long time. If one of us can help him out with that while I
Help me.
equip the item. Yeah.
So in the equipment inventory, if you have it there and you dragged it from the compendium, if you have it equipped, it will update your armor class. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do it manually, and you can do that by going to your settings and hitting
Where do I
manual
enter it at?
armor class. At the top, you can just literally type over whatever's in there.
Frog.
Oh, okay. So for like okay.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
Kai, what's up?
I did a investigation roll to look for just for a basic sword, and I got 22.
Yeah, you easily find a basic sword. No issue whatsoever.
Okay.
Are you looking for a single-handed or two-handed?
Single-handed.
Okay. And you also do find a shield, basic metal, not like much pretty to look at. It's just a shield, that's all it is.
Okay.
Okay. Pydor, what are you looking for?
How many are we actually able to grab?
Specifically due to the fact that this is kind of an armory for the newcomers to come and take stuff out of based off of what we've collected from, what the guild has collected. He isn't going to let you take more than 30. So 30 bolts for your crossbow.
I'm looking for a dagger if you got it.
Easy enough to find. You just grab another dagger. Basic one-hand sword and a shield. Okay. Karma.
Flask and something to take notes with, like a book, quill, and a ink.
Did you originally have a notebook?
I think I could have taken a scholar's pack.
Okay. If you guys did
Let me-
have
let me-
like originally have scholars packs and or those types of packs, like survivability gear, once you were unbound and led to the armory, they actually returned those packs to you. So, if your class started with a certain type of pack, go ahead and take it, you get it back. You get your basic stuff that you started with back.
I just checked. I get a Dungeoneers or an Explorers, so no, I did not.
Okay, if you are looking for basic paper and all of that, maybe a notebook, go ahead, roll an investigation check for me. Yeah,
20.
easy enough to find.
Okay.
You find some. You
And,
find some writing material.
And some flasks as well.
Like potion flasks.
Potion, metal flask, something like that.
I mean, you find a drinking flask. Not much of any potion flasks are just kind of laying around, but you do
Does it have
find
a lid
like
on
an
it?
old tin flask with a lid on it. Yeah, it's dented.
I do not care.
Okay. Okay, you're good, Velas. Anything else?
Tyler's getting light armor. What would that add for AC wise?
So what you can do is you can look up on Google like how much it would actually add to your AC, or you can look through the items in Roll20, I believe.
Yeah, if you
Or-
if you hit
Compendium at the top.
the compendium, the little circle with the eye in it, you just look up the item you're looking for.
Yeah, that's all there.
What'd you say, Angel?
Look, if
The
you look above
eye
the
with
chat,
the little circle.
yeah. Above the chat, there's an eye and a circle, and then you can look up classes and or items and such. You good? Okay. You're also handed a map. So at any time you can see this map. If you want to look at the map while we're in the middle of stuff, in the Discord lore, there are two maps. One of them is for like a lot of like where the states are specifically, and then the other one is type of like land, whether it's Do forest or not. Is there anything that any of you would like to do while you're here?
I'd probably look for various libraries or something, see if I can find anything that makes creatures go wild. Just in
I
general.
actually would like to join them on that.
Okay. Um, real quickly.
I'm not sure how big of a city or town this is. But
Yeah, real quickly, while all of you are getting all of your materials done, like around in this armory, you hear the two bugbear kind of step towards the room that all of you are in, and this room isn't like separated by a door; it's just kind of open in this natural bar area. And in between these two bugbear, the turtle slowly makes his way over to you, and he looks over all of you getting armored up. Now, all of you have something around your neck. Except for you, Drusilla. These are just so I can find you if you decide to disappear. I want to be able to trust you. And I will if you show me that you can trust me. Yeah, it is kind of divinity.
I
These,
knew immediately what you were doing.
yeah, these aren't necessarily making you bad at anything, but just remember that I'm not the type of person to cross. And he's going to pull something out from actually under his neck part of the shell. And what you see is a metal tuning fork. This tuning fork very much can go anywhere you go. I don't have to be next to you for you to hear this. This tuning fork is my way of communicating to you, letting you know when it's time to come back. It'll take you a couple of days to get there, depending on which way you go. I expect that. You will be watched. I have people in every state of the coin, even the Chelem Empire. They have ways to send me messages. They have ways to let me know what you're doing. And if you do decide to leave the coin before you're done with anything that you find, or just decide to be done and go off sullying the name of this guild, I can find you. And he puts it back into his shell.
Understandable.
I just needed to warn you. But today is a day of preparation. Anything that you need, if you can find it, if you can pay for it, which you probably all can't right now, that's okay. He is going to pull out a pendulum. This pendulum it's like the thing that's holding a sash around him. It's just a metal thing with a turtle on it. And he's going to flip it in the direction of Drusilla. If you need any books in order to do research, take that with you. You don't need to tell them who gave it to you. They'll understand. Anywhere that you go, you're not allowed to talk about this guild. If anybody asks who you're working for, tell them that you're working for the Red Rose. That is what this tavern up above is all about, anyway. It used to be an adventurers guild. Now it's just a rundown area that hides our place. Welcome to the Hollow Garrison. Welcome to my home. And he steps out. All right.
All right. Who wants to go investigating?
Are we going to look at the library to do research?
I was going to do exactly that.
We might as well.
May I join you on that?
Sure. The more eyes, the
Okay. How many? If you are going to the library, type I. Nice. And where are you going?
Justilia, could we see that pendant? It might be of use to us in the.
That's fair. Anybody that's going to the library, type I in the chat so I can actually see it. Thank you. Is it just you two, or is there anybody else? Okay. 3. Are the other 3, is there anything that you want to do in this time?
Now that we're not exactly in one space now, Kai's gonna kind of look around to see what else is there other than the armory.
Okay. So this area that you're in, the armory isn't really another room. It's attached to the bar itself. There is a bar. There are tables over. A lot of the people that were here to witness the introduction to all of you have left. Some of them leaving the bar itself. Some of them going into different rooms. There are stairways that kind of curl around the walls that go up to a second level that actually overhangs a central area. You can look over the railings and down into the room, where there are more places for people to sit. People are gambling. People are, just sitting, boiling over a drink. There are rooms that people are staying in, and then there's other places that you can't really see into. Doors leading into different rooms throughout this area. The armory is open to the front because most of the people that work here are always wanting to be like keeping an eye on everybody that comes in, so on and so forth. So the main area is the bar, the armory, the throne where he's sitting, places for people to sit and drink, and that's actually about it in this room.
Okay. My character is going to glance over to Tyr and just walk over to him.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you get your equipment?
Hmm. Yeah, I got it.
Well, considering we're working with each other for the time being, we might as well run introductions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start. Name's Kai Steelfang.
Well then, Kyle, Steelfang, my name's Terrabint. It's nice to meet you.
Likewise. I guess while we're waiting for the others to do the research they need to do, I guess we'll just be waiting for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, usually what I do.
You do that. He'll walk away.
Okay. That leaves us with
Me?
Kaidor. What do you want to do?
I'd like to find the fellow gnome, if there's any around.
A fellow gnome. Go ahead and just make a, I almost said persuasion. Make a perception check.
I'm just gonna mute my mic for a bit.
and then say out loud what you roll as well.
20.
You rolled a 20. Okay. Looking around the bar, as the people have kind of dispersed, you see the two bugbear. You see the two people that are working at the bar. One of them is a human. One of them, which was a young female, is a genocide. You kind of have to go up the stairs before you actually find anyone that would be unknown. Sitting in the back, actually fiddling with a deck of cards. What do you want to do? It's a male.
So, what are you doing? What are you in for?
Oh, you mean what was I put into the government's name for before I was plucked by a good old crow?
Aye?
Well, I pissed off a bit too many nobles with a bit too many daughters, if you know what I mean.
Aye? You get around on the weekends, do you, laddie?
Oh my god.
I got around too much, and some nobles saw to it that I was put in a place that I didn't want to be. What's your name?
The name's Spydor. And yours?
My name is Ramtup. Ramtup. It is Ramtep. And I'm the liar of this group.
Sorry, here's the what of this group, Graydon's tug.
I am the liar of this group.
So you may not even be a ramtip after all?
Well, that one is the truth. The thing is, my usefulness comes with the stories that I can bring up. The stories that I can bring up to confuse all of the people around me. The stories that I whip up on the spot to get myself out of a bind. It's just sometimes I'm not good enough, and they get me. I was with all of those ladies. Just wasn't good enough to get away. What are you in here for?
Well, I may or may not be in here with a friend. Might have got caught for doing some things we shouldn't have been doing. I may or may not be a little grabby with my hands, and he might be a little vicious, if you know the meaning.
Ah, a dynamic duo. Snatch and grab.
Aye.
Oh, that is useful. I understand. And he kind of plays all of his cards out on the table. These are just normal playing cards. It looks as if he's playing just a normal game of solitaire. Not really a lot to it. Okay, you're good. Is there anything else that you want to do, or do you just kind of want to have a nonchalant conversation while everybody else is doing their thing?
So you know anyone like me? Maybe even a tinkerer around here? Just trying to find some useful information before we have to do some personal business.
He flips the cards down. A tinkerer. Ah, you find yourself in a bit of the mechanical side, huh?
Aye.
Well, we haven't had much. I think one of the tinkerers that we actually have in this area is off doing his own thing right now. Maybe once you get back, they'll be here. If not, if you're looking for another person who's grabby, there is a dwarf. Normally they're by the entry of this area. what's their name? I think their name is Tisnia. They deal with acquiring things that are needed. You know, black market stuff, getting rid of stolen goods. You might want to find her.
I'll keep that in mind. I appreciate the conversation.
Absolutely. I'll be here until I'm needed.
And I'll just walk back to the bar area.
All right. We are going to head on over to the people doing the investigation. So the three of you, after asking how to actually leave, go over to where the spiral staircase goes up to the original bar. You get to it. There's somebody sitting on the inside. Tells you to wait a moment. The door opens. You find your way out. And then one by one of you goes out from behind the bar. One of you is actually led through the back, out the back door. And one of you is just kind of, there's a side door. This bar has multiple entries, including, the ship above it. And then you kind of meet out in the street. So, what's your plan?
Well, first we need to find a library. Also, Mr. Tall One, what's your
Mr. Tall One, what is your name?
Everyone's tall to me.
That's fair. The three people here, Karma, Valis, and Drusilia, one at a time, if you would like to describe what you look like, just so we can give everybody a basic idea.
Okay, I can go first.
Okay, go for it.
Karma is a short, pure white tiefling with red eyes and long white hair. She has two long horns that protrude from the top of her forehead, and they curve upwards. She wears dark clothing and a cloak that covers most of her head, but her large horns always poke out of the hood when it's up. The underside of her cloak is trimmed with what appears to be a white leather. She's also fairly short at 5 feet.
Okay. Valis, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you want to describe what your guy looks like?
Yeah, Valis is a pretty tall, 6'1", 6'2". Kind of looks like a tiefling, but a little bit different. That his skin tone is a much darker red. He's got jet black hair that's kind of slicked back, and he's got two long horns that come out of his forehead and just keep going up. He's got wings that are tucked in behind his back that aren't really flying everywhere, like they're just casually chilling there, and he's got a really long red tail that curls at the end. And then on his hands are two almost satanic looking incisions, like drilled it, like cut into his hand. And he always keeps his hands in his pockets, but occasionally you can get a glimpse of him.
Okay. Drusilia. Angel.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
You good?
Hi. Drusilla is a wood elf. Kind of just looks like she's been living in the forest her entire life. Clothes are more look like they're for comfort and not necessity. Kind of just like loose plant shit hanging from it, that kind of crap. She's got tan skin. Her hair's red. She's like 5'3".
Okay. We'll also head back to the other three that are still at the bar, just so they can describe what they look like. Kai, if you would describe what you look like.
Okay, so Kai is a human that is fairly built. It's just maybe about a foot or two smaller than Valis, about 5'10", 5'9". He's wearing a brown, what looks to be a brown jacket that sort of falls back behind him, black pants and combat boots. He has a scar across his left eye, and he has short, brownish blackish hair and brownish hazel eyes with a fairly light skin color.
Okay. Um. All right. And is it Tyr, if you would like to?
Tyr is a halfling of about 2.5 feet tall. He has brown hair, tan skin, and hazel to gold eyes. He's wearing a small cloak and a chain shirt under it.
All right. And Pydor?
I'm a fairly average sized gnome. I am 250 years old. No, 150. Typo. About 90 pounds. I have black eyes with lightly tanned skin. I am slightly wrinkly, but still kind of young. Kind of a salt and pepper beard and fairly muscular from just being on the run as a thief.
All right. So, the three people who are investigating. If you would like to roll investigation checks real quick, see if you can find the things that you are looking for, and tell me what you are looking for as well. You are in the river town. So let's get that music up. Where is the river town? There it is.
I'm kind of looking for, I guess, either objects or creatures that would, I don't know, corrupt animals and life around the area, and a little bit
So,
of like knowledge around of like all of Kuzan, like the history of Kuzan.
okay, you are looking for that in the library then?
Yeah, like the history of Kuzan and anything like
Yeah,
objects, like
library.
fiendish type of objects that'll be like, cause all that.
Okay. So, you have to travel through the town just a little bit. So let's mark where we are in Esna first. And then I got to. We are actually in the one name that is in Esna. It's What the fuck is that? Turnotak. We're just gonna say T.
I don't know. That kind of looked like an F.
It is. It is an F. It is Turnofar. We'll say that. So in Turnofar, it is a very port area. A lot of docks along this ocean that is going out of the coin. It's a grassy area too. A very welcoming place. You can look across the land and see farmland. It's not very hilly. It's kind of like the perfect place for people to create a farm with a calm ocean nearby. Even though somehow the history of this area kind of gets hazy. As you're walking through this town, you find a library nearby without any issues, and the library is actually like kind of an open library. You can walk in, you can go through all the books. It's easy enough to. Normally, people would have to pay a fee, but you kind of show them the symbol, and they just nod in recognition and let you in. You don't have any, you know, you're not in a rush. You start looking for books. So, Flino Far.
Do I get
That
the
is what
sense
that says.
of-
We'll do
That-
Felino
How
Far.
about that's how I'm picking it out. It's blurry, but that's what I'm.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna retype it. So, all right, what were you saying?
upon entering the library, is there like, do I don't know, sense like any magical books that are immediately drawn to?
Do you have detect magic?
I do.
So you're gonna cast detect magic then?
I'm gonna turn to the other two. We plan on sleeping before we leave tomorrow, right?
I'm assuming yes.
Okay, then fuck it.
He said
And then,
we
yeah,
would leave tomorrow morning.
Long journey.
I'm gonna be like, all right, fuck it, and then I'm casting detect magic to see if I can.
You cast detect magic. The way that it works is if there is anything that's kind of, yeah, that's how it works. Within further duration, you sense it within 30 feet of you.
As I'm casting this, since I can concentrate up to 10 minutes, I'm just gonna walk like throughout the library to see if immediately I get picked up on something.
Okay. You start walking through this library. I mean, as much as it is a library, there are a lot of books. Not anything on magic specifically, and nothing like magic spells. You aren't picking up any magic coming from this area whatsoever. Except the person that's sitting behind the counter, the librarian, the glasses that she's wearing is magic. That's all you pick up, though.
Okay. Shit.
Correlation section of books and starts doing some research. Okay, so research.
I already rolled a 9, so I'm probably not gonna find it.
Okay, what is it you are specifically looking for? I just want to know.
I am specifically looking for objects or artifacts that corrupt wildlife around them.
Okay. While you are looking through, I mean, there are plenty of magics out there that are just like commonly known. There are magics that are like, charm person or charm monster or animal that exists. The ability to take over animals and tell them what to do and have them do your will. But you don't really find anything about that really matches the description of what we have going on. Like, we don't have a lot to go on, but you're not finding much anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm
And
gonna
then
kind of look for like the history of Kuzan.
the history of
Yeah,
Kuzan.
like the background that would maybe, I don't know, just give me a general lay of the land so I know what I'm walking into.
Absolutely. I have that here. So, Kuzan. The most northern part of the coin. It is a heavily forested area. The place for game. The place for hunt. There are definitely animals that live along this area. And, these animals can consist of like deer and let's take a look. Deer, dogs, wild dogs even. There aren't that many like dangerous animals or anything that you know of that are known of. I mean, dogs can sometimes get into things that they're not supposed to. Wild dogs specifically, they like to eat. They get into people's crops, and that's very annoying for the people of Kuzan that live there. Kuzan was a very hard place. It wouldn't allow farmland because of how dense the forestry was. Now, Kuzan has been known for the state of storm. Due to the fact that the northern winds hit the side of Kuzan non-stop, It always brings storms from the ocean over Kuzin and into the central area of the coin. So it is an area of storm. It is an area of rain. Is there anything specifically that you want to know with a roll of 17?
More about Bomb Witch.
Barm Witch. Barm Witch. This one I'm going to have to write down too. Barm Witch is a lowly town. It isn't that the people in it are poor or anything. It's that Kuzun is already a hard place to live. And Barmwich is kind of in one of the areas that is most hit by storms. The people that live here have learned to make homes that are able to withstand these storms, and very well, mind that. But at the same time, it doesn't have a very large population. It is one of the smallest places to live, like town-wise, to live in Kazun. That's all you can really find.
Known wildlife around the area? Or is it just like the deer and stuff like you said earlier?
Deer, wild dogs. Near Barmwich, actually, not too far away, maybe a couple miles away, there is a town where somebody is actually doing their darnest to have a pen for their cows and all of that. And they actually are doing pretty well. So every now and then a cow gets out into the wild. Foxes, I mean, birds of all sorts.
Yeah, I just skimmed through all that shit. Like
Yeah,
that.
just that type of stuff.
Well, you two get anything, because I'm not getting shit, besides the storm
I'm
state.
not getting anything either.
We really are about to just walk into this blind. That
Apparently, I wish we had more stuff to go off of.
Drusilia,
Yo,
you being from Kuzan, know how hard these storms hit. It's like a pattern almost. Every couple of hours in a day, there's a sudden spur of weather that just goes over the island, or over, yeah, like this island for an hour, or 2 hours, or 3 hours, and then sometimes the wind is just dead. It is a beautiful day. You've lived here for long enough to know that even when the storm hits, being under all of these trees, how dense the canopy is above it, there are still areas that stay dry just because, like, of how these trees are forming. The animals, yeah, it's just deer. You've seen the deer, you've seen dogs, you've seen a bear before. But you know that the bears tend to stay near the western side of Kazun, just because that place gets hit a lot less in the storms. That's about it. You're still
okay.
learning this area.
Okay, well, this has been absolutely fuck all, but now that that's out of the way, I'm gonna walk up to the woman behind the bar. Excuse me, what's your
Here.
name?
Yes? What?
What's your name?
My name?
Yes.
Well, uh, it's Philin.
Do you mind spelling that for me, Philin?
Villain.
F-I-L-L-E-N.
Villain. Villain.
Okay, Philin. I'm very curious of you. Your glasses are magical, are they not?
They help me read.
Is that it?
They help me read fast.
How fast?
She looks down at the book that's currently residing in front of her, halfway open. She just kind of glances over the pages, flips it, and then flips it, and then flips it. It's a very
Wallace just, as she keeps going, slowly gets more and more annoyed and be like, okay, they got all that do. Fucking hell. And I walk away back to the other. Well, that was fucking useless. This entire trip has been a waste of like 20 minutes. Can we get out of here?
Yeah, I'm not finding anything either.
Shit. We really are about to. Okay, well.
Drusilla
Any
over
other-
here knows a lot about Kuzin, but I don't know anything about the item we're looking.
I have, after reading that, I have a general idea of what it's like, but I was been more curious to see whatever we're walking into with this corrupted object and or beast.
Well, maybe we should just go back to the party and hope for the best.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to everyone. Okay, well, let's just head back.
All right, you start heading back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still had it.
Yup.
Montage.
Montage time.
When we
So-
get back, I'm immediately going towards Pydo to see what his fucking dumbass is doing.
Okay, before that, Pyro, while you are waiting, what do you do while you wait?
I'm drinking.
Cool. Let's do a thing. I'm going to have you roll just a straight d20. Actually, Hydor, what I want you to roll is. Where the fuck is it? Core. Constitution. And then let me know what you get. So roll Constitution. Roll 9. Okay.
Oh god, here we go.
In this time that you're kind of sitting there drinking, let me get the music. Which one is it? Okay. You're sitting there at the bar, drinking, passing the time. You had a chat with another one of your kind. You kind of get the idea that everybody in here has done something, whether it be simply like just the nobles don't like you, or I've killed a man. It's normal for everybody here to have an issue. And you're kind of thinking about that. And you take a sip and you move yourself to a table where nobody's really sitting at. You start to think to yourself. And you kind of lull yourself into a moment of like, you start to hear it. What do you have to say to yourself?
I don't know. Is this gonna be safe?
do is this. So, what was it that you said?
I don't know. Is this gonna be safe?
You should have received something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is the only way to get out of this. Well, I'll be fine. I'm with Valis. He's always been by my side. I know. I gotta do what I gotta do. Otherwise, they'll throw me right back to the government.
Kinda. Your left arm twitches a little bit at your drink. I mean, you found yourself in these situations before. It's a normal thing. Considering who you've been around, you kind of realize. That's okay. It's just another thing to deal with. Moments later, the doors open. And one by one, the three that went investigating make their way in. What do you do?
I'm gonna find my drunken little gnome and go to him.
Alright, go for it.
I'm gonna take a seat at the table. Oh, I see you've been using your time very wisely.
My character kind of snaps out of a drunken haze. I ain't nothing better to do in this fucking town.
I don't blame you there. Our whole trip to the library to gain information was a complete waste of time. And I got to watch an old lady read a book. So that's about all we did.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Isn't that what you do at libraries? Read?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
you read at libraries. It's
I
just
need.
annoying.
I'm gonna wave down like a waitress or whatever, and give me a fucking drink.
Wait, can he do a roll for that to see how much he fucks it up?
Could I get
Fucks
a
up
drink as well?
waving down again.
I
Sure.
want to know how embarrassing.
Roll
this can
performance.
get.
You're kidding.
If he gets in that one, he'll smack the waiter on accident.
Yes.
That's a 15.
I mean, you wave up, and the blue-skinned one actually sends somebody down to you, just with a drink. Pops it in front of you. It's nothing fancy. It's a drink.
Okay, well, as long as it's alcoholic, I'm fine with it. Then I'm gonna take a fucking huge gulp of that shit.
Okay.
Might want to go easy on it, lad. Do you have adventure to go on?
I've been informed we'll sleep before that, and that's tomorrow. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I
Suit
believe we were
yourself.
leaving in the morning.
Exactly.
So
Anyway, what's all you guys' names? I don't believe I've heard. Drasilia, come over here. We can sit down together.
I'm
Okay.
Wallace, and this is Paido.
Aye.
My name is Karma. It's a pleasure to meet you.
As to you,
I hope we will be good friends.
Let's hope so. Because, I mean, if we're trusting each other with our life at this point, considering we're pretty much going in blind, I don't think we have any other choice.
Yes, I don't think so either.
I'm gonna take notice of Kai. Hey, Edgelord, you can sit there and be a loner for all goddamn day, or you can come over here and join us.
We're gonna be a party, we might as well sit at the same.
He'd get up
You
and walk over to the rest of you. Was simply waiting for you to come back. Nothing else better
Well,
to
we're
do
here.
after all.
We came back like 5 minutes ago.
Guess I was lost in my own thoughts. Did you find anything?
No, we found an old lady with that reads, but that's.
Yeah, she was completely unuseful entirely.
Interesting. But did you find any information?
Absolutely fuck all.
Nope.
I found basic magics, but nothing about anything that might be causing the stuff that's happening in Kuzen.
Oh, there's a dwarf here. There's a dwarf.
Good to know.
She's like me.
You found a dwarf.
Aye.
What's so special about this dwarf?
Well,
Wait, you say you like you. Does that mean she gets grubby?
she's got sticky fingers.
Okay,
I'm sure many people here have sticky fingers.
that's disgusting. Have you talked to her yet?
Nay.
I'm surprised.
Drinks first.
Oh my lord. Okay, well, down the hatch.
All right.
Anyways, might as well get your
So,
names.
what's- We were just doing that. My name is Karma. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. The name's Kai Steelfang.
Hello, Kai.
My name's Valis. This is Pydor.
Aye.
Where's the other little one?
Somewhere.
There's a lot of you. I'm gonna see if I can find that little bitch Tyr.
Tyr?
Yeah.
Tyr, are you here?
I'm here.
Where are you? I'm looking for you.
I'm by the door.
There's a lot of those. Be a little bit more specific.
Roll perception.
Fuck me.
Can I also do it since I was the one who asked the question?
Do I get advantage on this?
Why?
Because she's helping?
You can
I don't
either
think that's how
what
it
you can
works.
do is you can either choose to give one
Oh,
person
okay. I'm fine with this actually. I got a 14.
or okay. So you can either make separate rolls or one person gets advantage and the other one's just helping them.
Her roll's better. I
Okay.
have 14. That's all I get.
I mean, yeah, it's easy enough to glance around and look at the only other person that's new here and has been with the experience of bagged ahead.
I'm going to wave.
I motioned him over to the table.
All right, fine. I walk over to the table.
Tyler, did you see what I sent you? All right, you guys can continue.
So what's your name? My name is Karma.
Well, my name is Tyr. Tyr Rippin.
It's a pleasure to meet you, T.
I'd look at fuck, how do you pronounce your name, Angel?
Drusilla.
Yeah. My character would look at Drusilla. What about you? What's your name?
Drusilla.
So, now that we've all gotten to know each other, do we have a plan, or are we just going in blind like I...
Well, I
Well,
guess
my whole plan was to try to get information, and that went kind of out the fucking window. So
Yes, that was mine too.
I guess we are
Same thing.
going in blind then. Well, isn't there someone here who's from?
Gisela here knows about Kuzin. I don't think they know about this type of thing.
I can tell you about the stars. That's about it.
I mean, they did say
that
this
is
happened a
completely
month ago.
useless to me entirely.
I don't know why he's so.
We should have no problem surviving there,
Have you met
at the very least.
him before?
Are you okay over there, my little friend? Or are you in your head again?
I just thinking out loud.
Yes, I know. You do that quite a lot.
I think in my book, but I know some others might.
So I
So-
guess here's what we know, right? There's an object or a beast in Kuzan that is causing the wildlife to go almost corrupt. We have absolutely no knowledge of what this thing could be. And the best bet I'd say we'd have is to go to this village named Balmwich and ask around there. That's about really it. That's all I got as a plan for now, since
I
there's
guess
nothing.
Yeah,
that's all we can do at
that's
this
all
point.
I have too.
Well, at least we're on board with that, so we'll head out for Balmwich tomorrow.
It would probably be better to go to the east. It'd be quicker, and we'd
Yeah.
have to spend less time in the storms of Kuzan.
We're gonna have to do a lot of fucking traveling, though.
Yes, it's quite a.
Yeah, I did it to get here.
How long did it take you?
How long did you say it took, Frog?
Would you have walked or would you have used the carriage?
I probably would have walked.
Jesus.
Like,
It's a good
Well,
friend.
combination of walk, fly.
Yeah, I gotcha. It is probably 4 days journey. A good way to think about it is each section of the ring will take 2 days to get across
By walking or by carriage?
by carriage.
Oh, do any of us have coin on us? Like, I clearly
Like starting
creating a
gold from the
carriage.
background?
I don't know. Do we have any money on us?
It is safe to assume that you lost all of your money.
That is
Good
I
to
had
I
money,
will
but
to steal all that money. You give it back right now.
And it isn't even the guild's fault. It is due to the fact that you were jailed at some point.
I
The
don't know
government
what
has
you're
you.
talking about.
Well, I had some money, but I don't anymore.
So it
Wait.
should take.
You, Celia, you said you weren't jailed at all. Do you have money?
You would have your background money. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In order to get to that town by carriage, it should be about 5 days.
Okay, so definitely not walking because that's gonna take half a fucking century. But the other problem is since most of us don't have money, I'm almost guaranteeing carriage rides are not going to be free.
Perhaps we can get a job for protecting a carriage to there. We get paid and we get to
already
travel.
have a job.
It doesn't
We
mean
could
we
do
can't
that.
accept side jobs. I'm sure there are many trade caravans that would love protection from us. And we get to
Is it
keep the money on the other side.
Does anyone
don't have a
know?
rep.
I guess we'd have to just start asking around then.
Who's gonna want protection from a bunch of criminals they've only just seen today?
A bunch
Not-
of criminals.
Okay,
Well,
Got a point.
maybe
no one else here, besides the people in this place, know we are criminals. So maybe let's keep it on the down.
I'm already on the down low.
we honestly
Funny
have
joke.
to be on the down low about this place in the beginning.
Yes, we can't say anything about this whole guild in the first place, which is the least of my concern. It's the
We'll
whole.
just call it the Rose.
I'm not a criminal.
Yeah,
Look
yeah, yeah.
you.
Look at this guy. Did you see
I'm
shit?
only wanted because I was framed.
Yeah, okay, that's what we all say.
Hmm.
It's
I'm 6
true.
feet tall.
I don't know about all of it.
You don't need to know what I did.
I do not. Let's keep it that way.
Your
Going to know.
entire persona is just nothing but edge and darkness, isn't it? And I'm the fucking demon here.
I'm the one that I'm
It's
not gonna
called
say anything.
none of your business. Let's just keep it at that.
Well,
Well, I could try to find some of my old buddies.
Do you have any? That sounded fucked up. Do you know where they could be?
Wow.
Could we get the job for them?
Well, they might be heading out that way. Who knows?
It wouldn't hurt to ask, I think.
Real quickly, were you, Tyr, were you listening when Ryder was talking about the other friend that had sticky fingers?
No.
Okay. Either way, the only reason that you ended up on the coin tier was because of your vast connection to like knowing trade routes and or illegal trade routes.
Mm-hmm.
Fuenzia is a place of piracy. That is the main area where all piracy, black market, and any other place that has illegal things happen would be. However, it spans throughout the entire coin that there's always locations that you can find that have like, a trade route of things that shouldn't be mentioned. That does mean that there is some in Esna. I mean, what better place to look around than the place that you're in right now?
Mm-hmm. Would it be possible to go look for and see if I could recognize anybody?
Go ahead and roll an investigation.
Okay.
Please get a good
And
roll. Please get a
because
good
of your
roll.
background, I'm going to give you advantage.
Did not help much.
Oh
Could
my
I
god.
Could I use my background to help him find lower level places? I have a feature.
Well, it would only give him advantage is the issue, and he already
Oh,
took
never mind.
advantage.
Good luck.
I mean, you kind of slip away from the group for a minute and look around. You don't recognize anyone here. And half the people here are trying to keep their background to themselves as it is. You literally just don't know.
Well, shit.
Around this time, the turtle makes his presence.
Hello again, Uguay.
His name is Crow.
I know what it is.
Yeah, his name is Flo.
Crow,
Jesus Christ.
show some respect to our employer.
He kind of gives the chuckle. Respect is earned. They haven't earned my respect. I haven't earned theirs yet. I expect this kind of thing coming from the place that we're in.
You're not wrong. Is there like
Respect
can you
should
throw
also
us
be
a
given to
bone?
the people who are kind to people.
Don't worry. I'm not one to take things to heart. Looks over to you, I almost called you Talon. Taven. Valis. Fuck.
Those are two very wrong characters.
And a dead
Hold
that's a
up.
dead character
Hold
too.
up. That one's dead, Frog. That one's dead.
What the
Something
fuck?
so. Sorry. Valis. Looks over to you. What was your question?
In
Valis,
fact,
what was your question?
I'm going to actually look over to Pydo and be like, "Hey, let's go talk to your dwarf friend. We are literally getting absolutely nowhere with everything, so might as well go talk to him, see what they have."
I have a question for Crow if he's still around.
Yeah. He's there. He's listening.
Do you know anyone or any place where they might hire some mercenaries to guard them on their way to Kuzin? We're a little bit low on funds, so it'd be hard for us to...
He kind of listens and thinks about it for a moment. Well, as a matter of fact, no. You aren't actually the only group that's heading in that general direction. We have another group that has some missionary work in Ufled. They have a caravan that's going to be working. 3 carts. They're going to the town of... Zoom in. Kaztuzik. Or Karstuzik. It's not all the way, but it gets you pretty close.
Okay, that's good enough.
that'll work.
How long from there to Bomb, which would that be?
Maybe a day or two?
right.
I'm just...
Yeah, so he kind of sets out a map. So you guys have a map. He gives you a map.
Oh, sweet.
That dot right there is where it is in Ufled, right next to that name.
That's a fucking long way.
It is, but Ufled is the place of military prowess. It's the place that people go for training in order to enter the Talim Empire. There are barracks there. Caravans end there. They get searched. They move on to the next area. That's a normal thing. It's also the place of mercenary work.
Interesting.
So, once we get to Kuzik, I'm sure we can get a job to go over to Barmatch.
Oh, it looks like we don't really have any other choice, so fuck it. I guess that's where we're going, huh?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. And then, is there anything else that you want to ask him while he's there?
Do you know a big panda?
What?
What?
No.
No, you don't know a panda. His
Yeah,
name-
I
you
have
and
a
your
question.
references.
I think his name is Mo.
No, ignore him. I have a question. What usually is the payment for the other jobs you offer to your...
Upsettingly, I mean, due to how little we know about this, we're not going to pay you until you bring it back, so we know how
I
dangerous
understand.
it is.
I understand for this one, but just in general for other...
I mean, it depends on what the client itself will pay.
Fucking
You take
mad.
and keep what you find during these missions, and whatever any clients that you have to meet up is willing to give you. You come back, and based off of how well you do, we pay you. Sometimes it can be as little as 20 gold. Other times, if it's something that's a lot more important, it can range from 100 gold to 300 gold.
Okay, thank you.
all depends. There are important things that require important funds. I understand that.
I was just curious. I need funds as well. But, I'm sure when we get back we will may accept more.
He kind of looks over the group. Let me just put this into your mind as you get to working on this. Sure, we've given you supplies. We've given you enough to get a start on. The more work that you do for us, the more access you have to better armories, weaponry, and currency. The more work you do for us, the more dangerous it gets. But at the same time, there are plenty of things on other islands that I need dealt with. The Talam Empire is only one of the places that send contracts. Who knows? Plenty of adventure to come from a lowly place like this. And he just kind of shanters away. All right.
Bye,
There's
Glow.
two of you that wanted to go.
Goodbye, Joe.
Oh,
What did I say?
Okay.
you said glow.
Pido, do you want to go speak to your dwarven friend?
Aye.
Alright, let's go do that.
All right. You ask around. You remember the name?
What's up?
What was it?
Tisnia, thief dwarf, black market specialty.
All right. So, you kind of ask around. Tisnia was actually originally up at the entryway. So you just kind of go up. She's working guard duty at the moment. You wait a couple of moments, like 30 minutes, and the guard duty switches out. Tisnia comes down, shanters over, sits at a bar, gets something to drink, slams it down, and just sits there. Passes out.
Wait, she just passed out.
She just passes out snoring.
Alright, little friend, I'm gonna have you take this one. This is your sticky fingered friend. I'm just here for backup. She's asleep, so good luck with this shit.
Time to see if we can shake her awake.
Jesus Christ. That's Jason Bourne.
Is this a performance check? For a shake?
For wait, you're just gonna poke her?
Like it either
No,
be
you-
like a kind of nudge, like, "Hey, are you awake?" or "Can you wake up?" or it would just be like a full-blown shove off the.
No, you're good. So you're just walking over and shaking her awake?
Yeah, I kind of give her a quick little nudge, like, "Hey."
You go to nudge her, and immediately your hand is just grabbed. And one of her eyes opens slowly, and then the other eye opens slowly. What do you want?
I hear you have a certain special set of skills, maybe grabbing things that aren't necessarily.
Well, I grabbed your hand, didn't I?
I know if you want it in fucking marriage, then you can hold it, or we can have a conversation like two civilized.
Let's go of your hand. What can I do for you then?
Can we have this conversation in Thieves' Cant since she is also supposedly?
Are you gonna just so so okay.
Yeah, could I do a check to see maybe if I say like something in Thieves' Cant and see if she can respond?
Let me look something up. Bam. So, I gotta figure out where the fuck it is. Next dialect. Okay. You are definitely familiar of Thieves' Cant. So, what is a basic message that you are trying to get across?
I guess if she's hit any local places or knows a quick way to make a
Okay. So, you kind of have this momentary start where you slip in a bit of Thieves' Cant, a bit of a dialect that's a little different than everything else that you've said. And she kind of tilts her head and continues this conversation with you. So you're asking for any form of like good places to hit. What you get out of her is that as much as thief's blood is in her, uh, her speciality comes within smuggling things in and out of places without it being seen.
So what kind of places? What kind of thing?
So, person with quick hands, person with the ability to hide things in the open without anybody seeing them. Now that's a dangerous territory, especially around Roofland. You see, the best place to hit is normally where the best defense is. The most guards tend to get lazy with their work. You just gotta know when to strike, when to get in and out fast. This entire ring, it's called the coin. Mostly because, well, this was the island of piracy. Sure, if you keep an eye out, wherever you go, you're gonna find something that a thief has left behind.
I appreciate the knowledge. I'll use what I can. Thanks for your time.
Just to be an asshole while they've been talking, I'm gonna speak in Abyssal. Fuck both of you because I don't know what the fuck you say.
Actually, during that entire conversation, they had a normal. It literally sounded like just they're talking. It sounds normal. They had a normal conversation about like why they were here, or anything, yada yada.
I'm still gonna say in Abyssal. Fuck both of you.
I
Sure, if you wanna
understand.
Don't
just
mind my
If you're talking in
he's
Abyssal, I
not.
understand how to. I will understand you as well.
You're
That's
not
fine.
there.
You're not over here with us, cunt.
I know.
all right. So on and so forth. Okay. What's the plan, everybody?
Sleep and then move out with the caravan that is heading out, I believe, tomorrow.
Yeah. Right. First thing in the morning.
Yep.
Pretty much
Caravan
our
will be heading
only
out
approach.
near the morning.
At least that's my plan. So I go up to, if I have a room, I go up to wherever people.
Um, Due to the fact that this is your first time, each of you are provided a room for one night, and then after that, based off of whether or not you get the job done, you will be needing to pay for rooms and drinks.
Understandable.
Okay.
Can I just sleep in a tree?
You want to go find a tree?
Yes.
Go find a tree.
I'm gonna go find a tree.
There you go. All right. So everybody's sleeping.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep.
Through the night. Do, do, do. Karma. You're going to be doing a lot of investigating. You know this. You have a lot of work cut out ahead of you. So far, everything that you've tried to figure out hasn't really worked out. You haven't found out much. But for some reason, when you're standing inside the hollow garrison, when you looked up to that throne where Crow sat, something seemed so familiar. You just couldn't figure it out. I want you to roll. What are you going to roll? I suppose you should roll a religion check.
Frog.
Yeah, what's up?
What's the code? What do I type for whispering again to you, to the GM?
Slash WGM. W space GM. So 20 religion.
Yes, that is.
Nice. That night you go to sleep. In your dreams, for a moment, you can just think of that throne. It isn't that it's familiar. You've never seen it before. But for some reason, what you see is a small little nick, a small little carving. This carving starts with one line on the bottom, and it sprouts into 3 different lines, each line kind of going in its own path before ending in a ball. Each ball has spikes. And when you kind of make that realization, it just kind of makes you shudder. Why on earth would you be thinking of a flail right now? A morning star. And then your dreams continue to go off into whatever you're dreaming about.
Okay.
Valis,
Yes.
this is the first time in 3 days and 3 nights where there isn't a constant bug noise in your ears. Instead, it is replaced by absolutely nothing. You don't dream. You don't have any sounds. You close your eyes, and then when you open your eyes again, it's morning. morning time. What's everybody doing?
I get up, eat, and then whenever the party is ready, we shall head out. Or at least.
Everybody kind of wakes up, or do they make their way down? Do they get something to eat before heading out?
Yeah, essentially just
I'm already in the bar getting food. I've been up for hours.
Okay.
I'm gonna very slowly make my way down, moaning and groaning the entire way, and then get me some food.
All right.
Yeah, the
Down
note
in the
taken
bar.
and
Sorry, go for it.
I'm still snoring in my bed. Everybody left.
I'd
Uh,
I'd walk up to Valis and say, where's Pydor? Did he wake up?
Probably not. I just keep walking like that's a casual thing for me.
Okay.
Does anyone know when we are
Not a clue.
I presume when the other groups here
Is Crow
head out.
at his.
what was that?
Is Crow at his.
Not yet. When
Nice.
you guys make your way down, start getting food. There is another group actually down there already. Some of them are just leaving the armory with new bolts. You see two people, two humans. Both of them have a crossbow. Another one behind them, dwarf coming out with just a normal, shield, axe, and that's about it. Two humans and a dwarf.
Are you two part of the caravan that is heading towards Kostuzik?
Yeah, we're heading to Koztuzik. The dwarf kind of pushes his way in between the two humans, like, get out of my way. I hear that we're having another group hop on with us.
Yes, that would be me and my group.
Splendid. It's a easy thing. We're just
Okay.
joining in with a caravan. Caravans are going to be going through the convergence of Orgrad. Through the bottom parts of Orflad, we're not making any stops. Should be a couple days' journey. Each night, somebody else is going. Well, each night will take a night. Stop for the night. So on and so forth.
What
Nothing
time would
normally
you be?
happens during the in convergence of Orgad. It's a good place to be, honestly.
Okay. What time would you be leaving this morning?
Well, we're getting everything on the caravan. The caravan's actually going to be coming and meeting us just outside of town. So we're going to head out there. Say in the hour.
Good to know. I will get our group ready and meet you there.
Aye, we'll see you there. Kind of heads off.
I go and I wake up. Get up. We are going to leave within the.
Huh? What?
We are leaving within the hour. So get up and.
Alright.
And then I go tell everyone else.
Okay. All right. So is everybody just getting ready and heading out to the caravan?
Yup.
Well,
Yep.
That is
Cool.
not.
All right. So you leave the Hollow Garrison. You head out to town. I mean, it's easy enough to know where everybody is. The caravan is taking place with a bunch of farmers carrying supplies such as farm food and crops and other stuff. They're kind of packaging in it a decent amount of hay, decent amount of just, food. vegetables, fruits, so on and so forth. Uh, Basically, what you can tell is that this caravan is going to supply the military branches in Uflad with more, supplies for making sure that people have food there. You will, however, be passing through Convergence of Ograd. Now, the dwarf said that the Convergence of Ograd is, an all right place to be. Um, Drasilia,
Yo,
you have originally gone through the Convergence of Ograd in order to get to Esna. It is the most heavily forested area on the coin. This area is actually where the poorest stay, and they live under the projection of Ograd. Ograd is a furbolg. You actually have met him. Very kind, gentle giant. He is known for keeping the people in the Convergence fed, alive, making sure that they actually have homes. You also know that this is a very kind of swampy area as well. You find out that a part of this caravan is actually going to be stopping at the Convergence of Ograd too to bring some of the poor food. And that is why, in the first place, the Hollow Garrison is involved. Ograd, he gets help from the garrison. So on and so forth. Now, as everybody's getting ready, we have three wagons. There are three wagons that are going to be a part of this caravan. You have the mercenaries, the two humans and the dwarf, and then a decent amount of farmers that are actually going to be driving the horses, one per carriage. There's also two knights that are a part of the Talum Empire that are going to be a part of this caravan as well. They will be riding on horses alongside the caravan. You guys can split yourself up among the wagons.
I'll find a empty caravan and stay there. If
Yeah.
anyone wants to join.
Yeah, I'm just gonna choose the empty one.
Yeah.
And as empty as it can be, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's full of boxes.
I'll choose a
Yeah.
carriage that doesn't have that many boxes and just plop myself in there.
Okay.
If I say sits.
All right. So the way these caravans work, these wagons are, you have the horses. It's a 3 run, so there are 3 separate horses on each caravan, or on each wagon, and they are pulling people and supplies. So far, it's worked out for them. They haven't had any issues with weight or anything so far, so good. You kind of look among the supplies that are going. It is a lot of there's corn going there, there's peas, there's fruit and such, just in crates, and it doesn't look like it's a lot. Like you kind of think, man, this caravan's really small to be going to help out at a freaking war camp. But you know, you sit among them.
Aqua and Turtle.
Who is going to helm the perception check to keep an eye out?
Definitely
day.
not me.
I can do
If
it.
Drasilia is gonna do it, I'll assist.
I can do it. I got a high perception.
Okay, so you can choose 2 people per day. When those 2 people do a perception roll, they can either roll separately, or one of the people can give advantage to the other person. For the
I will
first
give
day of travel.
advantage to whoever.
I guess first day, me and Karma.
Okay. So go ahead, roll for perception while taking the first day. Okay. First day, going through Esna. You get to see a lot more of Esna that you didn't on your way back or through. They kind of stay on the main pathway. This is like the most open of land. Um, Almost all of Esna is farmland and farm communities. Throughout Esna, you see different types of crops. You see corn crops, you see peas, you see like apple orchards, you see farmland for animals and such. It's quite amazing how much of this land has been used for this type of agriculture. You stop for the first night. The three guys that are on the original early, the two human and the dwarf, they are taking watch for this night, so you guys don't need to worry. Nothing happens the first night. Who's going to do perception for the second day?
I can do it.
I'll do it.
Then I'll
Me and
yeah.
Type I. Okay. Do you want to roll separately or give someone advantage?
Let's roll separately.
Okay.
Go for it. Roll perception. Jesus. Okay. All right.
Fuck.
The second day. During the second day, you enter the convergence of Ogred. This is where the journey gets a little slow because of how dense it is. All the pathways are condensed. It's hard to get through. You can get through without any issue, but if there were any carriages on these pathways going towards you, one of you would have to get on the side of the road and wait for the other one to pass. It's rough to make pathways along this because most of it is bridge. It's all swamp. It's muck, mud. You continue. You do see how this is the poorest area. Homes, they can be made out of mud, stone. Homes don't have doors here. People have been able to, make makeshift homes up in the trees, but it's rough here. Kids running along on the road, playing out in the mud because they don't have normal household items to keep themselves entertained. They're having the time of their life. You actually stop in the town of Rears. That is Riers.
Rears.
Again, it's a rundown town. Not a lot of people there.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing.
They don't
at a
even
lot
have
of
enough
things.
room for you to stay in the tavern there. So you have to set up camp outside. Luckily, this is one of the more drier areas, even though it's right next to a river. Because you're in town, does anybody want to stay up and keep watch overnight?
I suppose we will.
Yeah, me and Pai can do it.
Right, how are y'all rolling?
He's getting advantage.
Okay, go ahead. And then type what you roll. I know y'all are using dice. Okay, so 17. So you kind of sit there. What you guys do is you split it up with one of the guards. So two of you are taking first watch, then the guards are taking second watch, and then the other guys are doing watches the other night. So you're both sitting up. You have a fire going. You know, it's a wet area, but at least you're sitting on dry land, keeping warm. You kind of looking around, and you do have like homeless people living around you, but they just kind of keep to themselves. A kid, runs through camp at one point in the night. Is there anything that you want to do while you two are taking watch?
I guess yell at the kid and watch.
Kid kind of just apologizes while laughing, continues running.
I'll be kids.
Other than that, nothing really happens. The next day, what two are going to be doing perception for this day of the journey?
I can assist someone. I'm not that well at doing it myself.
What are we doing?
Just it's another day
Watching
of
perception.
keeping an eye out while you're traveling.
Definitely not me. I have a very shit.
Drusilla, do you want to do it again?
I'll do it again.
Okay. Go for it. Okay. You continue through the convergence of Ograd, actually heading past the town that Ograd resides in, but you don't stop. Around that area, however, you're paying attention and you kind of look behind at the caravan in the back, and you notice that one of the farmers takes one of the crates out, and two people that are standing on the outside of this caravan walking alongside it just for a moment. He reaches down, passes the crate off to them, and they run back out. You notice that it's just corn, as far as you can tell, and then you just keep on going. This upper half of Ograd, it isn't as swampy. It's a lot easier to get by. It's still forested, though. You're just getting to the border of Uflad when night hits again. What two want to stay at night, up at night, at the border of Uflad?
I'll help. If
That's
anyone
one.
wants to take watch with me.
I'll stay up as well with Karma.
Okay. How do you want to roll?
I'll give Kai advantage.
Okay.
All right.
How do I roll? How do I roll for an advantage?
Okay, so up at the top, you should see public to GM advantage, normal, disadvantage, so on and so forth. Click advantage and then just roll proficient. Yeah, perception.
I don't see that.
Um. Slash roll.
They probably don't have.
All right, so Kai, all the way that same or the where it says core bio spells, hit the little gear. The third box to your on the right, it should say roll quarries. Click there and then advantage toggle.
I'm sorry. Where?
Okay,
Right or
just at
left?
the top.
You can just
Up at
roll
the-
twice as well.
Yeah, that too. You can just do that too.
I'm just gonna do that.
Okay. Hey, there's
and,
advantage.
And it's perception, right?
Yep. So 11, and then roll one more time. 6. Okay. And this is for the night watch on the border.
Yep.
I mean, not a lot happens. You just kind of notice that each side of the border is very different. It's a sudden change from military presence to homelessness. And it isn't like, they're keeping the homeless out or anything. They're just like, that's just what Ufled is known for. Barracks, preparation for war. You see it. The next day, more or less, the knights are the ones that take control. Because as you start to go through Ufled, there are a lot more knights here. There are nobles, there are soldiers, foot soldiers, scouts. As you pass near this area, maybe not, one sec. This area right here, and keep going up. There's pathways that lead to the inner ocean of this Uflad beach that are more docks that are all about getting people to the Talim Empire. And because of that, there are multiple checkpoints here that you have to stop. They look through all of these, supplies that you have. It is just like rice, and they don't find anything. You keep on going until you get to Kaztuzik. Once you get to Kaztuzik, it is very much a military town. This is where a lot of the training goes on. People who are just trying to join the Talim Empire for the first time, whether it be to get money or to have a job for the first time, this is where they go. The caravan stops. The dwarf comes up to y'all. Oh, I understand that you're heading to Barmwich.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, we can't take you there, but turns out that there are some people doing a job right now heading to Barmwich. Due to the fact that there's been some disappearances from Barmwich, apparently, some families are wanting to get out. So, I think good 6 soldiers are taking a carriage up there. 2 carriages will go. You could work in a favor, hop all of you on there. I don't know about you getting back, though.
That'd be great. I'm sure we can find our way back.
Splendid. Kind of walks over and starts organizing like some travel for all of you in order to get to Barmwich. It actually goes over quite well, quite easy. Within the next hour, you're on another carriage heading to Barmwich. A day passes. Nothing happens. And then you're at Kuzun. Again, military presence kind of disappears here. I mean, it's there. Every now and then you pass another carriage or you pass horses that are on the pathway. But this is more of a nature's claim land. It takes you a half a day to get to Barmwich. Once you get there, the town's interesting. In fact, the town is almost 100% up in the trees.
Whoa.
There are stairways that go up large trunk trees that go high into this area. houses that are somehow like weather built, slanted in a certain direction that when a storm hits from the direction, it bounces right off the top without doing any damage to anything below it. Slanted buildings up in trees that are attached by pathways that again are have these slanted roof like a lot of leaves, and it's a very beautiful place. Welcome to Barmwich. What do you want to do?
What should we do?
Get out of the caravan.
That first. Gotta ask around.
Maybe we can
Yeah,
find a tavern.
I'm gonna go ask around. See, yeah, tavern finding. Ask around about disappearances and where they might.
All right. So go ahead, roll an investigation.
Oh, just on that.
Okay. I'm gonna take the one on the left because that would be the first roll.
I thought Valas was assisting.
Oh, my bad. You're right. I didn't hear him say that. You're good. I mean, it doesn't take you long to find. It's not really a tavern, but it's just a convenient place. You get the sense that this isn't a place where people go and just like. This town doesn't have a place for hard drinking. But you find this place of vergence where a large group of hunters or are kind of getting ready to get on this caravan to head back into Ufled. You gonna go up and talk to any of them?
Yeah, I'll go up and talk to whoever looks interesting.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow her, but kind of just. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna stay behind her. Not saying.
All right.
Excuse me,
So-
I've heard there's disappearances happening here. Could you tell?
You kind of walk up to a group that has a number of humans and one half elf. And the half elf kind of looks you over. Yeah, there's been a couple of disappearances. I thought that's why all of you came here to pick up these men and
Yes,
take them home.
That is why the rest of them are here. I'm looking for the source of this disappearance, and hopefully I can take it out. But, of course, with my friends. But I'm just wondering if you know perhaps the location that these have happened, where they were headed.
This guy kind of looks you over. Well, what exactly do you want with the source?
I'm just trying to take care of it. Destroy it. Maybe turn the place around here.
Kind of lets out a sigh and nods. We had a couple others come here, actually, in search of the source, too. They went a little bit, southwest of here. Further into the woods, away from the beach. We haven't really heard of them since.
Okay. I was afraid of that. We were acquaintances.
Look, I'm not really sure what's going on. Something fell out of the sky a month ago. It hit the ground so hard we could feel it in the trees, and it was miles away. Ever since that happened, well, the hunt hasn't been good here ever since.
I see. Perhaps we can go find our acquaintances and put an end to whatever this is happening.
He kind of shrugs and nods. There are
Velas, do you have any questions?
there are this land is known for hunting. Normally we only take the deer, but it seems like something else is taking animals too. Like we should be the only thing that hunts here. We've
A
seen some
beast of some
terrible
form.
things. I don't know.
I'll have to ask my friend about this.
Humans have been disappearing. That's why these ones are getting ready to leave. I have to stay here. I run this place. I've lived here my entire life. But some of the humans, some of the hunters that go out at night, they don't come back. We've heard them yell, we've heard them scream. Something's not right out there.
Do you know if this is specifically at night, or does it happen during the...
You know, I suppose I haven't really. I don't know, actually. I don't know.
Well, whatever it is, I'm sure I'll try and help as much as I can. Velas, do you have any questions as well? That...
I guess considering the fact that now signs are pointing at this is very clearly more than just an object.
I think that is the case.
Do you have any information on what it could possibly be and where it landed?
From a distance, Superman.
He kind of rubs his head. You're gonna want to talk to some of the hunters that are on the southwest side of this village, ones that are closer to the disappearances. They might know more than me. I've just been trying to deal with getting people to safety ever since. I don't want any more of my people to disappear.
That is understandable, and we shall do that. You said the southwest side? Do
Yeah.
they have like a building that they converge at?
I mean, this is kind of like a village. Everyone has their own house. They just southwest. Head there. Look for a guy. His name is Leokas.
Leocus.
He'll tell you more.
I thank you for your time. Hopefully we can get this.
He nods and so on and so forth.
I...
All right. Real quickly. In this.
Is he cutting out for anyone else, or is it just me?
No, you are cutting out a little bit,
He
Frog.
did that time.
At that time.
Interesting. Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
I can hear you now.
So, let me tell you, right now, we are at a time in the game where if we continue, we won't be able to stop for another
No.
couple of hours.
I'm good for whatever.
What was your name?
Tyler and I have to get up early in the morning tomorrow and do some shit, so
It'd be
Eh,
cool
we're
if we
pretty much
take a
clocked.
nappy.
Yeah, I am going to say we will pick this up next time then.